I think if you heard her answer to this question overall, she said that maybe she had not explained the situation well before, and was happy to have the opportunity to talk about it again. But what's underlying, I think, the charge when Senator Sanders raises either contributions that Secretary Clinton has received or having done paid speeches, there's an innuendo there that's something that is about her integrity, and he won't ever quite come out and say what it is. And so she challenged him tonight to say, if you got something to say it to my face. If what you're suggesting is that contributions influence how I handle policy and how I make decisions, you're 100% wrong, and you have no evidence of it. So let's just have it out and address it now. And Senator Sanders wouldn't answer her. He didn't have a response on that. So I think she wanted people to understand that if people think that they can buy her, they are sorely mistaken. And if you look at her record, you will see that this is a person who makes judgments based on what she thinks is in the best interest of the people she represents, and that's how she makes decisions, and she's just not influenced by contributions.
But I want to go back to the transcripts question. If her integrity is intact and there's nothing to hide, why not release the transcript?
Well, like she said tonight, we'll take a look at it. It's just not something I am particularly familiar with, because these are speeches she gave in the past, while she was in private life, and I just don't know. But she said that she wanted to take a look at that. So
I understand. I don't want to belabor the point, but I guess the question that I would just come away with is, how could she not know about what's in that? What would there be for Secretary Clinton to have to look into regarding that? She was there. She delivered the remarks. She knows what's in those remarks. What is there to look into precisely?
She's talked about what she has discussed, what she would present in speeches, and what people are interested to hear about is her experiences as Secretary of State. Obviously, this is someone who's led a very interesting public life, but also her work as senator, and that is what she has said that she would lay it out in. But I think when you're asking the specific questions of transcripts, that is something that what we're saying that we will we'll have to look into. It's not something that I know a lot about actual transcripts of speeches. It's a little technical.
You mentioned a moment ago the exchange that she had with Bernie Sanders, in which she basically said, if you've got something to say, you should go ahead and just say it. To what specifically was she referring? Because it didn't seem quite clear to me.
So Senator Sanders has been running television ads talking about contributions that she has received and suggesting that those contributions influence how she makes decisions on policy, and suggesting that because she has at times gotten donations from different corporations, that she can't somehow that she is not someone who can take on Wall Street. What she wanted him to say is, if that's what you're suggesting, say that to my face. He never quite completes the circle, but he spends a lot of time speaking in innuendo about people who receive contributions and how that may influence Wall Street reg reform. What she talked about tonight, I thought very effectively, is how she's put forward a reform package for having more accountability on Wall Street, something that experts that have looked at what she's put forward and what Senator Sanders has put forward has deemed hers to be more effective in dealing with the problems that we actually are likely to encounter going forward in Wall Street. So again, she's shown that, not only is she not influenced by contributions that she may receive, but she's also somebody who's really thought through the problems and has good policy to put forward that she can get done to address them. And what she was hoping is that by confronting Senator Sanders directly, that he would make clear exactly what he is suggesting, if he is impugning her integrity or suggesting that she can't be an effective regulator. She wanted him to make that clear and wanted everyone who is watching to understand how much she has done to address problems not just in Wall Street and the economy, but the economy writ large, and also that what kind of plan she has put forward to hold Wall Street accountable going forward, so we don't have the kind of crisis that we had in 2008.
Jennifer, we have a question from a panelist here, Nick Thompson, NewYorker.com editor. Nick, go ahead.
Thank you very much for being here. So before the debate, one of the narratives was that what Bernie Sanders needs to do is he needs to figure out a way to appeal to non-white voters. And what Hillary Clinton needs to do is she needs to figure out a way to appeal to young voters. And it seemed like Sanders worked very deliberately to do that. If you listen to his answers on Flint, his answers on the death penalty, he brought that up in subtle ways, but ways that were clear that he's trying to broaden his base and solve that problem. Do you think that Hillary Clinton made an appeal to young voters? Do you think that after the debate that young voters will have seen something that she said tonight and said, oh, okay, now I've come around?
We hope all voters saw something tonight, particularly undecided ones in New Hampshire, saw something in Hillary Clinton, and that she is, as I thought she put very well herself, saying that she's a president that will take on the problems of the wage gap and have incomes rise, make the economy work for everyone, and keep everybody safe. She's saying in one sentence what she will do as president, and we think that's something that should appeal to voters across the spectrum. But you know, when she comes into a debate, she's there to answer questions and speak to all voters. It's not something that she's not one to target her answers. She wants to answer the questions and have everyone hear what she would do as president.
All right, Jennifer Palmieri, Clinton Campaign Communications Director, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Elaine.
And so we're going to talk about this some more, guys. You heard the answer there on the transcripts. I mean, I hate to go back to that because I just think that there's still not a sense of clarity what there is to look into. If Hillary Clinton was there, if she was the one who actually was delivering these speeches, there shouldn't be a mystery about what is contained in those transcripts.
Right.
Caitlin.
I mean, and you asked it several different ways, and they aren't able to answer it. So I think that this is going to be something that's played over and over again tomorrow and heading into the weekend. I think it's going to be brought up. I am really interested, though, the Sanders campaign manager, Jeff Weaver, did not engage on that. Right. So I'm wondering if they go back later and kind of regroup and decide. We often see, campaign managers wanting to do one thing, the candidate wanting to do another. I'm wondering if Sanders is reluctant to engage in that. It seems like a prime opportunity for him.
Yeah.
I would think so. I felt a little bit of sympathy for Jennifer Palmieri there, because they've prepped for 9,000 different questions, and then transcripts of these talks. I have no idea. But I think we're going to see, they're going to be up all night. They're going to be looking through them. They've got 25 people. They've given them a case of Red Bull. They said go through all the transcripts. They know what they're going to be looking for. Right. We're going to get an answer tomorrow, and if they answer tomorrow that they're not putting out the transcripts, then they got to get their heads screwed on straight. Right. Or there's something really devious in there. But I think just release the transcripts.
Yeah. Linda, let me ask you about this notion that Nick brought up with Jennifer, outreach to minorities, because as the answers were coming about the death penalty, that was one where you look on social media and some people were not happy with Hillary Clinton's answer on that, saying that she supports capital punishment. What did you make of that aspect? Do you think there's some missed opportunities, perhaps, to address, something that's obviously very important to minorities?
Yeah, look, I think that she answered honestly what her take was on the death penalty, and so that's what we saw play out. In contrast, not that Bernie Sanders didn't answer all the questions with honesty as well. He did respond in a way that not only laid out what his take was on this issue, on Flint, but also took advantage of the opportunity to make clear that he understood that this was of particular importance to African-American communities in particular. So I think that was probably something that he did pretty well. I want to respond for a second to the whole issue before about the transcripts. I think, I agree with Caitlin and with Nick. I think what you're seeing tonight play out, whether it's with Jen or it's with the secretary herself is that they were clearly surprised at the question of the transcript. And it's interesting to see the Sanders campaign handle this almost in the same way that Bernie Sanders did when he did that infamous "I don't care about your damn emails" or "I'm sick of hearing about your damn emails." It's interesting that it started out that way, and I really do wonder if tomorrow morning we wake up and there's a whole different tact on it.
Yep, we shall see. All right. CBSN political contributor and Democratic strategist Linda Tran, thank you so much for your analysis from Washington tonight.
Thank you.